So now we are going to know about the factors which affects the exogenic processes. There are 3 to 4 factors just now we have learned. So in detail, now we will going to know about the factors which affects the exogenic processes. The first one is climate and the geomorphic processes. What are the processes and how climate experience and how climate depends on the geomorphic process to make a reshaping of the landforms. Climate, we all know climate is a very important thing or the important factor to make the landforms in a different way. So climate significantly influences the geomorphic processes on the earth surface. How? The geomorphic processes, which includes, we have already learned, weathering, erosion, deposition and mass movement. These 4 parts are the different compounds, or these are included in geomorphic processes, and these are reshaping by the climatic factors such as temperature, precipitation and wind patterns. If you were asking me, ma'am, how it's happening, the line is written over there that the weathering, erosion, deposition and mass movement, these are shaped by the climatic factors by like such as temperature, precipitation, wind patterns. But how it's happening? Like if I'm giving one example, a rock is standing over there or it's falling over there on the earth surface, due to the weathering, how it's going to be changed, how it's going to be referred in a different parts. Like for the weathering, that means the weathering affects the components of the weather like temperature, precipitation and wind patterns. The rock is going to be upbuilt, and after that the outer surface of the rock is going falling down. That means it's called the exfoliation process. In little bit portion later you will also going to know about the exfoliation or the frost action of the earth sphere, everything you're going to know. So that is called another effect of the weathering. Erosion, sometimes just now we have learned the Grand Canyon, how it's formed by the earth surface, how it's formed by the fluvial process which is acted by the river. Because of the erosional processes, the banded of the soft rock materials and the hard rock materials, these are not communicating with each other, and because of the heavy water flow, the soft rock materials is going to be melted, and that's how the Grand Canyon is also going to form. So these are the processes through which the climatic factors are working on it. These processes vary across the different climatic regions. Yes, in hot regions, in cold regions, in humidity high or low regions, in all places we cannot have the same kind of landforms is going on and formed. So the variations in the thermal gradients created by latitude and seasonal changes. Yes, because of the latitudes, because of the height changes, our weather and the climatic conditions is going to be upbuilded, or sometimes it's going to be increase or decrease. So that's why the seasonal changes are very important, or the thermal gradients are very important for making or reshaping or balancing the landforms of different parts. In any climatic region, these processes can also vary locally due to the factors like altitude, orientation of the slopes and the amounts of sunlight received. In equatorial areas or the equatorial region, we can have a lot of sunlight. It's going to be vertically. But in slanted way, we can have the temperate regions. In temperate regions, we cannot have a lot of sun ray. There we can have a moderate kind of temperature. So these are also affecting the process. The intensity of this process is further influenced by the type and structure of the rock present. So from the above paragraph, what we have learned, for the example, in the Himalayan region of India, the intense monsoon climate contributes to the significant weathering and the erosion. So the heavy rainfall leads to the frequent landslides and the mass movements. So which particularly in steep and elevated areas where the rock structure is weak. Yes, that is another most important point. Where the rock structure is weak, there we can see the erosion, but when it's compacted or impacted, there we cannot have this kind of different landforms. So this is contrasted by Western Ghats and Nilgiris, and where despite being more stable tectonically, heavy rainfall, steep slopes still result in the landslide and the rock falls. What we have learned for the above paragraph, the first one is the climatic influences, which is very important because we have learned that the climate directly affects the geomorphic process. Second part, in the variation with regions, in different climatic regions we are having different intensities, and we are having the fall of the different angle, in a different angle of the sunlight. So variations is also creating. Local variations, that means the factors, the local factors, that means the altitudinal changes or the height changes, slope orientation according to the landforms, and the sunlight exposure. This also can cause local differences in geomorphic activity. The rock structure impact, that is the type of structure of the rocks, play a crucial role, that how the climate factors influence the geomorphic process. And in the last part, example for the understanding that Himalayan region's intense monsoon climate, which leads to the landslide and the erosion, which contrasted with the Western Ghats and the Nilgiris.